undecided.
Yeah, like that's the debate, right? But you think about it, 2015 MSI, Fnatic went to all 5 games. They lost in the 5th. There was then the series against G2 and SKT, where you ended up having the final, which ended up going 3-1. And then there was, of course, the Misfits versus SKT series, which again went to 5 games. And SKT has thwarted many of the hopes and dreams of many European fans.
So you're saying 5 games is a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
Unfortunately, G2's only ever gone 3-1 against this team. So let's see if they can not only defy history to be the first time G2 Esports can go 5 games against SK Telecom, but also put themselves one Nexus away from making history for an EU vs NA final. Now that all starts with G2 winning this game and getting that deciding match. And for the time being, we are back in game. As you've noticed, plus 250 odd gold in favor of G2 Esports as we get to 11 minutes. The first few backs have been completed. And you can see Mickey and Yankos starting to put some pressure on this bottom lane. I think we're about 3-ish. No, the Dragon is alive, correction. And it is just pushing Teddy away. And as you've noticed, G2, they put a lot of pressure on this bottom lane.
They're trying to re-invade at SKT to allow Teddy to enter. Here's the ult.
Alright, the Devour comes out. Impale was saved, so not sure Yankos wanted to hit that target while TK was so nearby. Teleport coming into the bottom lane. Faker gets turned on. All 5 members of G2 have already started to fight. Clid goes forward, he unfurrows, gets a knock-up onto Yankos, but the piercing arrow picks up the kill. Faker's in trouble. He's caught inside the blue buff. It's a double kill for Perks, and now Khan is on the wrong side of the rift. Gravity Field will buy some time, but he's managed to make it back to Teddy Amata.
SKT over-pursue and re-engage even though Khan is in no position to help. He teleports down, he only gets a small amount of poke onto Yankos. This control of the Drake has been the one advantage that G2 have maintained in the first 12 minutes of the game.
And what was great here for G2 was how they found the collapse onto Faker. Initially, it looked like G2 were the ones in a dangerous situation, as here you can see they focus their attention onto Clid. They're committing deep into the enemy jungle, but a good flash consumed from Mata saves the jungler. Now, they have the potential TP coming out from Khan from behind. You then have Faker with the collapse. But notice how G2 immediately say, let's go on to Faker, let's shut him down, while Perks lands a good ultimate, and now the fight is split apart. 2v2 and 2 versus 3. And Arrow actually interrupts Caps, Mickey, and Perks from taking the Realm Warp over, which then actually keeps them on that side to secure the kill on the
And I love that you point out that moment, because the hunters became the hunted the moment they made the correct turn, and that just meant that Khan was woefully out of position.
Now when I saw Mata's flash, his flash cleansed instantly. I didn't see whether or not Yankos caught him on a stun, but it didn't matter, and his Devour was one of those very powerful tools into the Impale from Skarner. Yankos is immediately going to summon the Rift Herald in the bottom lane. G2 have got themselves 1,000 gold advantage, and I think with that empowered charge, Perks will be the recipient of this last plate and the tower gold. First blood secured, 2 dragons, 4 kills to 2, and it is a very, very strong start here for G2 Esports.
Trying to play both sides of the map. Caps teleported down, didn't end up being needed, but now Clid is top side and SKT making a reverse play.
Alright, Wonder's going to be in trouble. 4 members stack, but the teleport from Caps, Perks, is going to be enough to save the day. Now Yankos stepping forward, Impale's available, he needs to find a target. The flash is countered by a flash reply by SK Telecom. Faker and Clid are running, the chain of corruption was spreading, Khan got locked down in place. Now Mickey steps forward, Khan buys a little bit of time with that stopwatch for the kill, is secured by Caps. Now Faker stepping forward as Teddy did not teleport, did not ultimate, and did not get involved.
And G2, after the pause, go from a 250 gold lead to a 2,500 gold lead. Beautiful stuff, constantly punishing these small plays that SKT tried to make.
And 1,800 gold of that lead, Vedius, is in Perks' back pocket. He's got 6,100 gold to the 4,300 of Teddy. Caps is up around 600 over Faker. So very, very strong turnaround, and those proactive plays, those skirmishes and team fights that helped G2 get to this point.
It's been a game of inches. The chess pieces just being slightly better piloted by G2 in the early game, but across the entire map rather than just in a single lane. The utility from Teddy and Mata hasn't been utilized outside of the from downtown Ash arrow before the pause, and G2 continue to push up, and SKT, the quadrants they're safe in, get smaller and smaller.
So the gold lead is healthy, 2,500. G2 have made multiple proactive plays that have worked in their favor. What they turn their attention to now is the lanes have swapped, Chain of Corruption's on cooldown. Mickey and Perks are stepping forward like they want to go, and that's because Yankos is running up. Predator Caps is here with Realm Warp as well. Oh, who's going to take the Realm Warp? Perks just misses it. Not in range, may not matter anyway. Mata doesn't have Flash available. He's the next target. Impale brings the Catfish backwards. And G2 Esports find 2 kills. They're going to lose the middle tower, potentially, and they can reply on top.
Looks like G2 just have it out for the duo of Teddy and Mata. They do not want this duo to get ahead. They want to punish the Tahm Kench as much as possible. And I loved at the end of that replay, Mata, for the first time in this game, says, you know what, I can't save you. I'm out for myself. I gotta go.
And you're seeing Caps outroam Faker this time around. It's being super proactive, dodging lane. 130 CS at 15.5 is low by his standards, but he's just being that extra man to guarantee objectives.
So you can see here, Mata and Teddy. Teddy does have the flash, but he doesn't see the point in using it. The collapse comes in from the rest of the team. He thinks he can get the safety from Mata, but Mata realizes there's nowhere I can take you. There's nothing I can do, but he realizes too late, and then the collapse comes out from the rest of G2.
For anybody that has been watching the entirety of the series, at the beginning of the showdown on Countdown, we talked about who pilots Rise better. Faker is the Rise. There are movies made of him. The skin that Caps is using belongs to Faker. But the way that Caps plays the silence helps the rest of his team. 3-0-3. This is how G2 have unlocked many victories.
The only small food for thought that SKT can talk about is keeping up Flash on Teddy, having a Victor. Their wave clear in this game state is superior to what we saw from G2 in the previous game. So they are able to stall out, and the longer they can keep outer turrets up, the more chance they have to try to inch their way back into a game that right now, G2 is controlling handedly.
And the one thing I will say is, while G2 tried to split up the map, remember the SKT still have this strong pick potential of the Ashe Tahm Kench duo, where the arrow lands and then Tahm Kench brings the target in to potentially look for a pick.
Alright, Caps will sidestep the arrow for now. Realm Warp starts. He needs to dodge the CC, and he does so. 3-0-3, manages to get that tower, and now all of a sudden G2 pushing. By the way, looking at perks, he's got the Rage Blade and Blade of the Ruin King completed. Caps may be doing some tactical inting. Let's find out. Rune Prison goes down, Spellbox as well. Faker manages to steal the Realm Warp, but he's the one that's in trouble. Realm Warp will complete because Rune Prison was on cooldown. And while G2 was pushing the bottom lane, Teleport to save Caps at least secures the dragon.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Wonder needed to TP in there. I think Caps was pretty happy in that 1 versus 2. But Yankos, they're looking for this 2 in the mid lane.
Alright, Devour goes out, and unfortunately Yankos decides not to flash. It would have been a very juicy double impale. Holds on to it for now. 5 plates to 1. The mid tower is now the focus for G2.
Hard to take down though, and Victor was able to wave clear in bot. It feels like Drake is a free win condition for G2 this game. SKT has had no control of the bottom quadrant of this game ever since their first Drake start very early was thwarted by a TP down from Gnar. So for now at least, SKT don't lose mid lane outer turret. But coming on 20 minutes, it feels like SKT and G2 with so much overlap in the comps, G2 in a very comfortable spot.
Very comfortable indeed. 2 items being picked up for Caps and for Perks. Caps going for the Spellbinder to complement his phase rush. He's going to be one speedy boy.
It's catch build. This is very much focused on getting that first Rune Prison or first empowered Q down. And from there, Skarner and the rest of the team can follow in tow. So the catch damage on the side of the Rise. G2 invading. They'd love red side control.
You need to get your vroom vrooms ready quick shot because you've got the Predator on the Skarner. You've got the speedy stuff on the Rise. Everyone is going to be looking to go quick as they try to catch out SKT.
I cannot wait. Quick vroom engage. 5,000 gold lead for G2 Esports. Mata in this engage, by the way, sitting on that QSS. That's a flash impale. Khan will get devoured though. Not going to get killed just yet. Chain of Corruption has already been used. Here comes Wonder. He eats an enchanted crystal arrow to the face, and Faker's been able to join the fray. 5 members of G2 trying to push forward, but the minion wave is getting obliterated. Oh! Massive manages to steal the Gnar. Faker turns around. He hijacks G2's chances. Listen to that crowd as SKT turn it around.
That was absolutely insane from Faker. That was the perfect opportunity, and he capitalized on it. Beautiful stuff from him as he defends the tier 1 tower.
I was watching the exhausted Gnar, wasn't ready for Faker's Gnar ultimate. Such a conditional most of the time. Faker pushes out. That's again a lot of time bought by SKT.
Not over yet. SKT are going to continue the pressure. 3 members pushing into the top lane. SKT do not have any towers yet, but this should be unlocked. And Faker wasn't able to get the one in the mid lane. Yes, that's a few kills on the board. SKT are still down 3,500 gold. But my word, that makes you a little nervous if you're an EU fan. Beautiful, beautiful play from Faker.
Faker, Faker, playmaker. That song, that tune, that rhyme was written for him because of the number of things that he has done just like this. And we can see the siege is being set up by G2. They have top lane pushed in, they have bot lane pushed in. Everything looks great for them, and G2's like, right, let's find this quick pick onto Khan, but then Mata comes in for the save once again.
And when the QSS can walk up that aggressive with 2 cleanse effects, the re-engage starts, you think, okay, we're just going to back away from here, no harm, no foul. Faker hasn't hijacked an ability just yet. Siege Wander rolls in, 5-man Gnar ultimate. It doesn't win them the game, but I'm sure we'll track back if SKT take down the series 3-1. And remember that Faker play.
And that hijack was so close to catching Mickey's Swarm instead, and how different that could have looked if it was a different ultimate. Instead, it works out, and that means G2 a little bit nervous as they go into the fight. Look at the damage from Faker.
Potential of Silas, always something to note. G2 once again stalled. They desperately want this mid lane out of turret, and they might catch Khan.
Alright, Khan is being run down. Impale will bring him backwards, but at what cost? Mickey's Chain of Corruption, or Glacial Fissure rather, goes down. There's at least 1-for-1. Cleave goes down as Perks is obliterated. That's a stolen Impale. Faker pulls one backwards. That's Caps down. It's all a wonder. Mickey's running for his life. Gets a tongue lashing, and that's slowed down. No Devour comes up yet, but the Abyssal Voyage will deliver on the backside. Faker decides to re-engage. Now Jankos trying to push forward using those crystal slashes. Manages to get at least a little bit of a stun, but it won't be enough. Wonder's about to gnaw out, but I don't know if he wants to fight. Can hop over the wall. Flash is available as well. G2 are losing fights!
And it's Faker that is determining the outcome of it every single time. This time he hijacks the Skarner ultimate to drag Caps underneath the tower and secure the kill onto the biggest damage dealer that G2 has right now. Beautiful stuff from SKT as they claw their way back into this game.
During draft, Faker looked at his PC and said, I feel a disturbance in the force. People are saying Clid is the best player on the team. And he's trying to shut that theory down.
And it started off here, if you notice, with a 2-for-1. They had already killed the Victor off screen, and then it's a 1-for-1. Clid goes down, so 2-for-1 overall. But notice what happens when the Skarner ult kills Rise. They're out of damage. You see some of your worries quick shot, and that Wonder has no role in the rest of the fight. They're just chasing down for whatever free kills they can get.
Yeah, you said it, Papa Smithy, and the interrupt comes out on the Tom Kench ultimate, but it doesn't matter. Trying to escape from an Ashe and a Silas with these rotations, there's very little that they can do. But again, G2 trying to siege onto this mid-tier 1.
All right, it's a 3,000 gold lead for G2 still, but it does not feel like it matters. The Mountain Drake is being started. SKT have felt the priority from G2. Mountain Drake should go down. The Ash Arrow will tag out Mickey. Mickey's going to get in trouble. They manages to use the stopwatch for now. Caps is going to be able to help out Jankos to secure the dragon. Now they're backing away. Mickey's gone down. 4v5 at best. Realm Warp starts to channel. Not going to get interrupted. G2 get the Baron for Mickey's life, but SK Telecom are on the hunt for blood.
And you just see that Wonder gets the transformation that time, but it's so hard to set up Realm Warp, outplays, and also a Gnar bar in the perfect spot. SKT, despite winning so many skirmishes in a row, still don't have one turret at the 23-minute mark.
And G2, they're holding on to their 3,000 gold lead, but you can see that SKT refuse to go down without a fight. They are matching G2 in the early game. They brought the kill difference to 9-8. And now we need to see these QSSs start coming out from both these teams. The Skarner ultimate, the Vars ultimate, the Ashe ultimate, the potential steals from the Silas mean that QSS is going to be a very important item in this game.
And when the standing gold goes down on this turret lead, if it ever is closed right now 2-0, we're basically at an even gold game as well, quick shot. So this one team fight, this really huge late game fight that decides it, I think we're set up for it.
This is the closest game we've had this series. They have traded back and forth, and despite the metrics implying G2 are in the lead, there's a lot of power to SKT's comp. And the one thing that I do think is a benefit for G2, 4 Elemental Drakes under their belt. Mountain coming up means that Elder Dragon buff is going to be a juicy, juicy target.
This
Teleport
is,
being channeled. All of a sudden, the Devour and the Impale has already been used. The teleport completes. SK Telecom have got caught out. G2 did not hesitate the moment that summoner was used. Jankos escaped with his life for a few seconds. Faker unable to find the kill. Wonder arrives as well. The tower goes down. The kill onto Teddy. And G2, do they fancy themselves Baron?
Big mistake from Teddy, teleporting onto an already almost dead turret as G2 walked up. They're certainly going to set up around it and see what they can get.
Look at the Gnar bar. Wonder's still got Flash and his ultimate available. Clid is not here yet. He has been brought in with the
disappearing.
Voyage. This is going to be a problem. Baron's being melted, but Cliff can't get in. This is close. Managed to secure it. Capsa picks it up. Faker is not done. He's got himself a Mega Gnar.
Wanda?
Here comes Wanda. Gnar into the wall. Into the crunch. The wallop. Faker gets a reply, but it doesn't matter. 5-man party in the chicken camp. And SKT are running for their lives. Clid escaped, but he's the only one.
And G2 finally secured themselves the Baron and put themselves in a much more commanding position. Faker has been trying so hard to turn these fights around, but the one time he can't do it, G2 take everything.
Teddy's TP started the dominoes and they crashed down with a G2 Baron. And now SKT have to go back to the early game. They have to play the waiting game again, but against Realm Warp, against Baron, and 3-lane push.
It feels like a split-second decision cost so much. That was at the mid lane that led to this fight.
And this is the first big Wonder ultimate that we get to see this game. Faker tries to get the shield out. Look, he even tries to steal the Gnar ultimate so that he can turn it around, but just a little too slow on the play, and he cannot convert it. Clid, he's forced to leave his support behind as Marta gets chased down, and G2 walk away as a very happy team.
Well, one G2 teamfight win away from a game 5, from Silver Scrapes, from everything that represents. Because with the Baron buff, they can crash through the game. You saw how quickly they deleted Baron.
7,500 gold up. 90 seconds to the next dragon. You've got 3 or 4 items being picked up from multiple members of G2 Esports, so this feels like a very similar game to many of the previous in this series. The team that gets ahead in the early game starts to fly. There's still 2 minutes left on Baron and a 4,300 gold Baron power play. That is ginormous. And G2 aren't done yet. They want to continue pushing those numbers even higher.
It's now a 5-turret to 0 advantage. SKT, one more pick to come.
All right, Jankos decides not to over-chase. Threw down the Predator, looking for the engagement. They've just been the righteous glory, in fact. Take a look at Faker. He's got the Mega Gnar once again.
Fool me once, fool me twice. Perhaps not the third time.
And third time's the charm, right? Because mid lane 1 was decisive, helped SKT win. River, not so much. Now we need to see what SKT can do against the Siege.
Wonder now moving into the bot lane, and the 1-3-1 can now be properly set up from the side of G2. There's still a minute left on the Baron, and with all 3 waves crashing in, SKT should be forced to give up at least one of these Nexus towers.
In the push in here, they can play the patient game that has evaded some of our other great 1-3-1 teams. Single Mountain Drake, another one to come up, and SKT can only defend in so many places.
Yeah, definitely the case. Mickey and Perks just waiting the wings. I wondered if they fancied like a Chain of Corruption engage, but 45 seconds on Baron. Nearly 5,400 gold and a power play. Mountain Drake is available, by the way. Will come up right now. And the Ash Arrow will catch out Yankov, but take a look at Caps. He almost blows up Khan. Now he goes golden thanks to the Hourglass. Devour will buy some time. Yankov steps forward. Chain of Corruption starts to spread. Here comes Faker. The Gnar's decent, but maybe not enough. Mickey joins the fray. He's going to step forward. All of a sudden, it's Mata that's down, but they've got Perks. Somehow Clid manages to find him. Mickey's ultimate knocks up Faker in the air. It ends up being a 1-for-3 in favor of G2.
G2 can still be happy off the back of this. There are only 2 members dead on the side of SKT, so they've all tried to hold the line. The wave clear from the Victor is still there. Teddy's up and alive as well.
The Realm Warp in combat was big too. It stopped Teddy from having 3 autos onto multiple members, and G2 want to wreck the base.
They absolutely do. Top lane inhibitor is down. The turret falls in the bottom lane. The inhibitor is a few seconds away. 20 seconds for Faker, 5 for Mata, and G2 Esports this time starts it back out. Clid is still burrowed and starting to chase forward, but gonna step away. G2 open up the base with the Baron, and they still got that mountain to fall back to if they fancy it.
So SKT take a page out of the G2 book, and they decide to attack one of the sides because they know that with 3 lanes pushing into their base, they're guaranteed to lose something. So let's just make the best out of a bad situation, and let's try and get a shutdown onto Caps. Let's try and kill this Rise. Unfortunately for SKT, it doesn't go the way that they want.
SKT really want to kill the Mountain Drake as fast as possible because they don't want Elder to spawn at 35 minutes. Actually having this Drake down and forcing another spawn stops there from being an overwhelming win condition, because right now getting out of the base and setting up around an Elder and a Baron, that's too much with how far behind they are.
You're completely right, Papa Smithy. It's a good thing to spot as well, and now we see SKT as they try to get this collapse onto Perks. So the Tahm Kench ultimate comes in with the Rise. The Ash Arrow actually collides with the Skarner rather than onto Caps. You can just see how much damage output Cap actually puts out in this fight. Immediately the double teleport comes out from both Perks and Wonder, and this is when the team fight really kicks off.
But we were waiting for Faker to enter this fight. Remember, still has the Mega Gnar ult, gets a a big one, and suddenly you see Ashbury hitting that. Okay, this could actually be their undoing. Suddenly, Clip goes way further than expected into the back line, and suddenly Teddy gets no more autos off during the fight.
That realm warp was absolutely insane from Caps. The awareness to be able to get out of that situation was very, very quick. But now G2, they have both side lanes pushing in. Their last tower is the mid one.
Faker has stolen himself a chain of corruption. G2 have got a 10,000 gold lead and quickly scan the items. Adaptive Helm for Yankos, Witsend and Phantom Dancer for Wonder. Teddy sitting on the eye edge, Blade of the Ruined King and Hurricane, as well as the Adaptive Helm for Clid. Iceborne Gauntlet sitting for Khan. Those are the power items that these teams are working with. But SK Telecom need to be greater than the sum of their parts. As they are down 10k, they are down Super Minions, and Wonder is about to gnaw out. He will transform shortly. Mickey uses his ultimate as Perks, goes low, gets caught up by the ECA, and here comes Faker. He steps forward, Perks buys some time with a stopwatch, but take a look at Clint. He gets impaled and pulled backwards, buys some time with a stopwatch of his own. Super Minions are inside the base, but not yet on the Nexus, and Wonder's Mega Nod does not matter. Faker stole himself a realm warp, and now he's chasing G2 down. Yankos will get a stun onto Mata, and look at the base. Khan is trying to, Clid is trying to stop Wonder. As all of a sudden Cap should get run down here. He gets the shield for a few seconds longer. Wonder has pushed the Super Minions into the base. This is just a fight in every single front.
But it's SKT that managed to hold the line. They find a really big fight onto G2 and they take out Caps and Perks. That means that no Nexus turrets end up going down. They keep their mid inhib alive. And with the Baron up, they get an opportunity to reposition and potentially contest.
The clear call would have been, we have to try something. Wonder is literally setting up for a 5-man Gnar ultimate, whether it was on the inhibitor turret or the inhibitor itself. There was a guaranteed engage there. That meant that Wonder was actually out of position for the entire fight and couldn't make any inroads. And now SKT, it's all in time.
It never feels like SK Telecom are out of a game. They've managed to bring themselves into the Baron pit. Look at the minimap. Caps is alive in 7 seconds of TP. Wonder's pushing into the base. Yankos has got Flash available, has got Smite available. He's inside the pit. The Baron is low, but the Devourer is up. It's all of a sudden secured by SK Telecom. Wonder is onto the Nexus turrets with the help of Caps. Khan is here. The teleports are starting to be challenged. Wonder's about to gnaw out. He needs to do something magical. Caps gets the shield. The Mega Gnaw goes backwards, but it's not going to be enough to save his life. Clid uses the Void Rush. One Nexus turret falls, and SK Telecom are right back in it.
They stand firm just in the single moment where they had to get through. The teleports, if they were cancelled, game will be over, and here's Caps.
All right, he's forced to flash away. Khan's trying to run him down. If he can use those Qs onto minions and use the speed buff, it should work. But look at Clid. He's hunting as well in the borrowed form. Caps does have a lot of movement speed and a shield in his kit, but he's got to play this flawlessly. Clid's coming out. Void Rush. Look at the damage with the tower. That's at least one in reply. Clid donates it to Caps. Caps is able to escape. The Spellbinder plus Phase Rush plus tower. And all of a sudden, Caps is turning it back.
It's actually pinging onto the Victor. Excuse me, as they try to look for a play, but that was actually unbelievable from SKT. The split-second decision-making to use the Tom Kench ultimate to come into the back of the Baron pit, and here you can see Mata with a crisp cleanse to then consume the jungler so that he cannot get into Smite Steal. Means that with the Baron going down, Faker can teleport back to base, and Clid can quickly join it.
Very rarely at 35 minutes is Tom Kench mechanics something that you point to, but actually, he got a lot done in that scenario. The overall chase doesn't get them a further kill. And we did see Clid go down, but SKT are living on a prayer, and that's a few prayers in a row already.
Unbelievable. 35 seconds to the next Drake. Then a further 5-ish minutes until the Elder Drake will spawn. That was the delay you talked about, Papa Smithy. That could have been the game-deciding buff for G2, and all of a sudden, that 6k gold lead at 33 minutes feels insignificant.
It's not always intentional, but you could have just backed away and said, okay, what's the point of taking this Drake? Taking it there buys you some breathing room because you just can't defend everywhere, and this is far from defense. SKT finally taking turrets. Remember, they had 0 for the first 30 minutes.
All right, Chance of Crystal Arrow. This one is going to be targeting on a Caps. If he had started the teleport, that is what that was trying to dissuade. Caps and Wonder are pushing both lanes. The Empowered Recalls, though, is a tool that Faker and SKT choose not to use. Faker steps forward. Chain of Corruption starts to spread. Perks as well as Mickey trying to do what they can. They've dissuaded enough for now. Caps and Wonder, they're they're pushing in. This is going to be for the final fight.
This is the G2 classic. They never go for conventional when trying to end the game. They're split pushing right now. Rise joins the top side. Here they go.
All right, Abyssal Voyage will deliver Teddy to the back line, but Captain Wonder are on the Nexus. They will not go quietly. The Nexus is being focused, but look at Faker. Nexus 1 or 2 more hits. Many more hits up. Wonder forces game 5.
That was the play that G2 needed to make to find the final victory. SKT looked so terrifying in those final moments. Faker was playing out of his mind. They found so many successful skirmishes. They took the Baron away from a G2 that was 5,000 gold in the lead. And it was G2 that had to do one of their crazy back doors to end up bringing us to a game 5.
You guys are so used to these. We saw them so
I'm not
often
used to that.
on the domestic
I'm
stage.
used to that.
The back doors, the 3-lane plays. SKT had the staunchest defense you could ever ask for against G2, and yet there's a 5th game, and the mental state, even of all these seasoned players on both sides, how do you just leave that to one side, reload, and do it all again from level 1?
I absolutely love that. SK Telecom, you think that you're trapped in here, with you. You think we're trapped in here with you, but it's the other way around.
Yes.
We were born in the Clown Fiesta, but that's not true. It's not entirely true. I think Venice, you said it right. G2 Esports, they do make the bold calls to win games. We've seen it a few times, and it worked out. It gets us to game 5. State Farm Analyst is. Tell me exactly how G2 tied up the series.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Quick shot. We're going to game 5, and I can tell you this much. SKT made G2 work for that one there. From mid to the end of the game, it really did take some of that ingenious and creativity out of G2 to ultimately close it out with the double split push from side lanes. Let's take a look at the closing moments.
Yeah, that was the ending here, and we already called it. The moment Faker went in and didn't get the perfect Varus ult as an engage to try and get kills, it's over, because the 2 guys in the side lane, they've done this so many times. For some reason, it's always with Rise. They get these crazy endings, and they stop the recalls. Mata is trying to get his team back, but it's just not enough with the 2 players. Or is it? Because more people are coming into the fountain, but he stays alive.
That drag right there. If it had killed Wonder, it was going to go on. But Wonder survives the laser from the fountain. Gnar ults everyone away to get the last few hits on the Nexus. That was insane.
If you gotta go to game 5, that's the way.
I don't want this. I don't like this.
That is the ideal way to go to the 5th game of the series.
Very few players have touched the fountain laser and lived to tell about it. And Wonder is one of them.
And it could be the way that they push themselves to a finals berth. One more win separates each of these teams from that victory and a trip to the MSI finals. But I think we need to work through this 4th game because, again, it was the closest of the series so far. Yes, G2 had the early lead. Yes, G2 came out with the victory as it has been trending through this series. But we had a couple instances of SKT making some big moves.
And it just means more when Faker is in the game, and he proved it. You cannot give this guy Silas. He is so goddamn good at this champion.
This play is insane here.
He comes in, he steals Wonder's ultimate right here, then he immediately dash flashes into the whole team.
Into the stun as well, man.
Yeah, talking with Khan right there to get the gravity field up in time. We saw it happen ahead of time. We were like, there's no damage follow-up. They just chunked out 2 members of SKT, and that is almost the game-turning play. At that point, everyone starts to get worried.
Yeah, Faker's like hulking out. I was sweating bullets over here. My heart was beating so fast. And to see then Faker try to make the call, we're going to end the game. I have the Varus ultimate. I'm going to make the engage. Imagine in a different timeline that works. Faker, huge performance.
Oh yeah, people talking about maybe Faker's falling off now, finally. Not the mid lane god that he once was. He was shutting some people up with the performance in that game. All right, let's talk about G2. Let's start rolling through some more replays because ultimately they will be the ones to take this victory.
We have a secret weapon now from the West in this tournament. It's Skarner because it's locked in by Angus against the Rek'Sai. This time he can control it. He's part of all the early kills. And I know this is obviously Teddy TP.
I thought you were going to say your secret weapon is Teddy's teleport.
That's the second one, but we don't talk about that one. That was a terrible TP. He got punished for it. Yanker's early game was great, sets up G2 to snowball. They actually played really well when they got all these early leads. like we've seen in Game 2.
The 4 Drakes came up big here. Double Ocean plus a mountain around this Baron, and then Wonder's going to come up with his own big Gnarl, just the same as Faker.
Yeah,
Forgot about it.
wait.
Completely forgot about it.
I can't. This game was too intense for me. Everything back and forth. I do like the fact that you were praising Jankos, and even though this is, team fights from Jankos, you mentioned it earlier, he was everywhere on the map. He set up every single lane, he got multiple flashes burned, and he really got the success started for G2, and it holds true for this entire series. Whoever has the early game lead wins the game.
Without a doubt. One more replay to take a look at, just because there was so much amazing action in this game. Here we go, base defense for SKT.
It's just such a close moment, man. They rush out to get the Baron after defending. They were holding on for so long, and we thought now maybe G2 can finish, but Khan early recalled, which was very smart. So he stops Caps, obviously, from hitting the turret with Wonder. They get to them, force them away. Again, G2 have to find more ways to finish the game. And I actually liked the fact that we got such a close fourth game, that G2 still managed to win, because they still had the lead for the entire game, and they still had all the options to split push, or even actually could still 5v5 as well to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, I just really wanted to focus on Jankos and Caps. The Rise and the Skarner, to me, were the two most critical parts of G2's victory here. Really well played. You mentioned in the early game, blowing the flashes, then returning with the Predator. This is one of the few times, where the enemy jungler has outpaced Clid. Clid was waiting there for the counter gank. He misses the timing. Jankos heads immediately back up there. He's able to get that snowball going. And the Rise he talked about at the beginning of the day, in the hands of Caps here, with the Realm Warps able to follow.
Well, we've seen successes from both teams in 2 different games. We're going to Game 5. SKT with side selection goes to blue. No shocker there. Those are the teams that have been winning. How does G2, and likewise for SKT, recapture their success for G2? Is it just the Skarner? Is it finding, the simplicity in picks and plays like that?
I don't think it's necessarily about Skarner. I think it's more so about early game. I don't think we're going to see another draft from G2 where they have multiple scaling options, and not necessarily lost lanes, but just kind of passive lanes. I think they're going to play for blood here, play for tempo.
Lanes where you have set up with your jungler, so you can have really good 1v1s, 2v2s when the jungler shows up. Same thing will happen on the SKT side. You can't just forfeit instantly the moment you see a Rek'Sai coming towards you. You need to have a jungler there who can actually fight back, so you can at least go even in that early game. And I think that's key. If they give Rek'Sai, they're probably going to pick Skarner in first phase, otherwise it gets banned for second.
Smartest thing that he has said all day long. Get Wonder and Caps.
In the last 5 minutes, come on, give me that at least.
Wonder and Caps, some champions with playmaking abilities.
Okay.
Those two are insane. And if they have champs that can set up, Jankos is definitely showing up today.
It does sound like, though, the theme of the day has been about the junglers for both squads. Yes, in tandem with those laners to see who can set up their team with the greatest possible gold lead coming out of the early game.
Yeah.
They're already preparing. They are clenching.
Maybe I don't even need these people here. Maybe I could do this all by myself.
agreed with
Up
you.
next is
What more
Game
do you
5,
want?
and I shouldn't have to say anything else. Cue the Silver Scrapes. We'll see you here after the break.
Clid is delivered with Mata into the bottom lane. No flash for Perks. Chain of Corruption's on cooldown as well, and with the Devour, as well as the Void Rush, it's easy. That was such a beautiful setup. Not in range, may not matter anyway. Mata doesn't have flash available. He's the next target. Impale brings the Catfish backwards. 5 members of G2 trying to push forward, but the minion wave is getting obliterated. Oh! Massive! Manages to steal the Gnaw. Faker turns around. He hijacks G2's chances.
Wait, actual TP. Okay, flash R. Yeah. Nice. There was sun. Yes, now. Wait, no more.
Wonder's about to gnaw out. He needs to do something magical. Caps gets the shield. The Mega Gnaw goes backwards, but it's not going to be enough to save his life. They will not go quietly. The Nexus is being focused, but look at Faker. Nexus 1 or 2 more hits. Mega Gnaw is up. Wonder forces Game 5. And welcome back to Game 5 of a series where SK Telecom and G2 Esports have been trading blow for blow to push us all the way to a deciding game. I have been here before saying that G2 Esports are going up against a favorite opponent. Last year was RNG. Various, you and I casted that game, and G2 Esports won that game, silencing the League of Legends world.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was a very dramatic series, that's for sure, but it was the same situation where both teams were winning on blue side every single time, and then in Game 5, G2, they somehow got the perfect draft, they got the perfect answer, and they turned it around against RNG. The question is, can they do it today? Personally, as an EU fan, I believe that they can.
But the nameplates are on this SK Telecom T1. They were winning world championships when G2 were failing promotion to the EU LCS at the time. So this is where Faker, Khan, the big names like Mata earn their bacon, because this is a must-win best of one to join Team Liquid in the final.
And the question will be answered, has the gap finally closed? If G2 win this, I say it has. Let's catch up with the draft. This is a pivot, different to what we've seen from previous games. TK, Nico, and Jace banned away by SK Telecom. Akali, Rise, and Silas, the response from G2. So a very quick job and locked in for Clid.
You imagine that the Galio increases in priority for G2, and they could very well put some focus on the Rek'Sai as well. We've seen that in the early game, it packs a powerful punch, and it was Jankos' most played champion during the playoffs of the LEC. So G2 going to make that pivot coming into Game 5.
Gankable lanes have been all the talk of MSI recently, so finding CC to back up Rek'Sai or Jarvan is very important. Braum ripped away in recent games from SKT. Be a very normal pick. Would it be Varus Braum as a duo?
I'm wondering if the Kalista comes out here for Teddy, one of his best performing champions for him during this year, and so far he's yet to die on the champion.
And his comfort might be shaken a bit after being involved in probably the big pivotal turning point of Game 4, with his teleport onto mid lane turret leading to eventual Baron that came through for SKT. But it's a little bit bold when there's not a Tahm Kench lane in sight to take the Kalista into. So Varus Braum for safety is the SKT choice.
As the pie cover coming out from G2. Oh, they lock it in! Oh, and we have no idea where the pike is going. It could be mid, it could be top.
And once again, shout out to Countdown, where the discussion was, who is the best pike on G2? We'll find out after this game.
Remember, Galio could go mid lane. It's a possibility.
That's
here.
true.
And Caps is, of course, the self-proclaimed best pike player on the team. Had a chance to meet up with G2 when they were in Korea, and the biggest flare point question to get under their skin was to ask the squad, who's the best ex-champion?
Yeah.
Because everybody had an opinion, and Cap said he played all of them the best. So let's wait and see what actually shakes out.
Well, with the Hecarim ban, this does suggest that the pike right now is looking to be a top lane pick. G2 want to create some chaos, and in Game 5, this is how they're going to do it. Fiora being taken away as well, very heavily suggesting that this pike will be going into the top lane. Have SKT prepared? Do they have an answer for this pike? Look, the Morgana ban coming out as well. They're saying, what if they try to do fill, or funnel rather? We want to deny that option.
Small answer and small thing to consider is that SKT have not banned Pike this series, so theoretically that should come with some semblance of an answer, but this Pike could go anywhere, and I'm sure that's reigning supreme. You want to continue that flexibility. This Syndra could be bot lane
I
as
think
well.
that Syndra's in the bot lane. I genuinely believe that Syndra is in the bot lane for Perks. In Game 5, when the chips are down and when you need to bring something big out, why not put Perks back on the mid lane role that he managed to challenge Faker with back in 2017?
Oh, let's see if this works out. SK Telecom now have to start piecing together what this composition is going to look like. Cannon will be locked in for Khan in the top lane, and Faker is potentially and confirming a Game 5 LeBlanc. For anybody that is a long-time viewer, will remember Morgana into Faker's LeBlanc many, many moons ago, and the response now is Lissandra.
And that is definitely going to be into the LeBlanc. That part is under no review. That means Perks will most likely be on the bot lane Syndra. Again, there is the flexibilities there, but the roles starting to come together. The top lane Pike is back. SKT, very, very standard stuff, but with some good agency for the LeBlanc to roam around. G2 want this to be a chaos game through and through.
I feel like the SKT are so happy with their draft. They have such a strong 2v2 jungle with the LeBlanc and the Jarvan. They should have priority up towards the top side of the map. And I'll be honest, I don't know how Syndra Galio does against Varus.
No, what? Call yourself an analyst.
So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But they should have a lot of options in the early game. As we said multiple times, the early game has decided how these games play out. So I feel like even with all this craziness coming out from G2, SKT on paper look like to be in the favorable position.
And here's my respect point to G2. If both teams come away from a draft, G2 and their opponent, and they both feel good about it, I'm more worried about G2 feeling good about their draft because their ceiling and the chaos and unpredictability it heralds is terrifying.
I agree. The G2 variance between their best games and their worst games substantially larger than G2's. At the beginning of this tournament, we started putting teams into buckets. The methodical control teams and the explosive chaotic ones. These two drafts are the epitome of a bucket stylization. And we get to see which one reigns supreme and advances to the MSI Finals.
Let's bash the buckets, boys, as we jump into Game 5 between SKT and G2. We got a Pyke in the top lane. We have Faker's LeBlanc. What better way to round out this series?
And of course, we know how Kobe feels about buckets, so he's rolling over on the analyst desk in disgust. Let's take a look at the early game decision making. Remember when Wonder played Pyke last time, he lost early, and it was skirmishes mid that allowed G2 to come back and defeat SK Telecom.
And the Jarvan could definitely do an impersonation of the Elise that was played on that point to keep the Pyke on a short leash. I want to zoom in on one decision, and that's Faker playing LeBlanc in Game 5 of an MSI tournament. Remember, all the way back to the first MSI, it was the strategy to take down Faker's LeBlanc with Pawns Morgana that led to SKT losing that final. He wants to have a happy memory of a Game 5 LeBlanc because if this game goes the way of G2, that's definitely going to haunt him for a long time.
Super quick stats for you. LeBlanc, as you mentioned, very well proficient on the champion. He's undefeated in 2019, 5 games played, 5 wins to his name. The last time Perks played Syndra was against the Freak of Freaks at Worlds last year.
Wait, what role was he in again?
There was some beautiful irony to that, and now he's running the Electrocute Syndra bot lane with Mickey's Galley.
And I love that you mentioned that quick shot because that has to be my next big point. Perks and Caps were considered 2 of the best mid laners in Europe last year. Now, in this final game, both are playing mid lane champions against SKT. Is 2 mid laners enough to take down Faker?
Small point about the level 1 fake leash by Mickey and Perks onto their blue. Have not spotted out anything though. Clid has not been spotted by the River War.
All right, Flag and Drag's available. Double flashes as well. Only level 1 for both Perks and for Mickey. Here comes Clid. That's a very good flash. Advantage SK Telecom.
Job done. That's exactly what he wants to do. Doesn't want Syndra to have the lane presence that she does in mid or bot lane. Same choice in the duo lane. Remember the all-in from Galio and Syndra's a lot of CC from level 2-3 onwards. Lane control to Varus Braum, scary thought.
Yeah, I think Clid, as you rightly said, Papa Smithy, is more than happy with how that trade played out. He can now walk away feeling satisfied that his bot lane has priority. And notice how they've split the map up right now. It is SKT that control the bottom half of the map, and there is the risk of a potential dive towards this bot side with no flash on a Syndra and only running the teleport. It becomes a very easy opportunity for SKT to play around.
Oh, very difficult with the taunt and scatter the weak stun, so execution is important for SK Telecom, but if there was a team that you believe could pull off that execution, this would be the squad. Blue buff was stolen there by Clid as Jankos will clear out the scuttle on top. And it's kind of got a vertical jungle feel about it. As you can see, the top lane, Wonder pushing into Khan.
So we still have to keep our eyes on Clid, but we also want to draw attention to the Pyke in the top lane. Notice that at these early levels, he's not actually struggling. He's managed to get to level 3 very safely. He knows that his jungler's on the top side, so he has the potential to play a little bit more aggressively. And the one thing that we learned from when the last time these 2 teams played was what Pyke is exceptional at is actually setting up for ganks. The amount of crowd control that he provides, and combined with the damage from the Rek'Sai, means that if Khan makes that slight overstep, or if he misuses his abilities, he is primed and ready to get sunk to the deep depth.
And while you think of Kennen as a burst champion as the game goes on, as that's actually in the mid lane.
Oh, Flag and Drag under the tower, but the W from Caps might be enough. The Claw of Doom keeps Caps away from it. but that was so insanely close.
Lid's flash is down, so some side lanes can relieve pressure. Coming back to the cannon though, it's an auto attack champion in lane similar to the J, so the moment you get under turret, yes, Kennen will be threatening Klepto procs and turret plates, but backing away, getting back your health from that passive and coming back in should allow the Pyke to weather the storm early.
Now, if you're a G2 fan, you're quite excited by the fact that Clid has attempted 2 ganks and not converted it into any kills yet. But those big summoner spells are down, so you have to keep your eyes on where this jungler is and where he looks to play. Because remember, I'll keep saying it, this guy is, in my opinion, the best Jarvan in the world, and when he has an ability to look for a play, he will not hesitate.
And if you are just joining the broadcast, Clid has obliterated G2 Esports multiple times this series. His early game impact has been game-changing. Also, the team that has been on the blue side has generated several thousand gold lead by 15 minutes and gone on to win the game. So it's going to be up to G2 to break that trend if they want to win the series. And technically, odds are stacked in SKT's favor. Much like this top wave stacked towards Wonder, he's just going to farm it out as Khan recalls.
That is an electrocute Jarvan. He goes warrior every time we've seen him in recent memory. Consider that if Pyke hits level 11, level 16, it should be a very squishy lineup. So the sort of mid-game team fights like we saw last time we saw Pyke in this matchup could potentially be very effective.
Even game so far. CS is equal. Teleport's pretty much being traded equally, despite a very different look of team composition. Neither team's got that advantage yet.
Now, notice that Wonder has not gone back to base yet, which means that Khan wasn't forced to teleport. He wants to try and grab that Tiamat on his first base so that he has the additional wave clear. And the reason why the wave clear is so important is because Pyke as a champion loves to get mobility boots. And the moment he's got them, if he can go into lane, push the wave, and then disappear, everyone on the side of SKT has to be like, okay, there's a guy with a spear running around looking to execute as many people as possible.
And I do have a fear from that statement because SKT are a team that learn. When you show them something new, it's your best chance at beating them with it. Once they've had a chance to digest it, much like the Borg, they assimilate the information, bring it into their own understanding, and get better. So they've lost to this Pyke before. I want to see how they're warding and their decision-making changes this time around.
The recent example will be the Clear Pantheon that Griffin tried twice in the LCK final. First time, it almost got over the line. The second time, it looked laughable. So SKT's adaptations here will be clear for everyone to see.
Now, Clid is one of the players that we've been tracking in this early game a lot. Currently level 4, has looked for a lot of ganks both around bot and in mid. Meanwhile, Jankos has been steadily farming away and has now hit level 5 as Wonder looks for his first roam. Caps now level 6.
Alright, Bone Skewer, maybe. It can obviously synergize so effectively with all of the CC sitting on the side of G2 Esports. Teleport, I can see, was used by Perks into the bottom lane. Wonder obviously going to use that mobility to potentially help out. He was going top, now come back down. Faker gets knocked up from the Unburrow, but look at the teleports here from SK Telecom. Khan is going to be helping out. Caps is going low. Unburrow once again. Clid is the first target. Depth from the low. That's going to be first, but the latest of the series. Everybody's in the jungle. Caps goes down. It's a 1-for-1. Now Marta's in trouble. Somebody kill. Will buy time. Slicing Maelstrom is flashed away from defensively. G2 Esports won't find a Bone Skewer. They won't find the follow-up CC. It's a 1-for-1.
Let's pack up and lead the lanes at 7 minutes, 5v5s, why not? It goes 1-for-1, no reset on Wonder's ultimate. Did not actually get the execution, didn't share the gold. Potential for it, but I don't believe it did.
Best international meta as viewer ever. Oh, 7 minutes in, 10 people at the red button.
It certainly is. Quick shot. You already commented on the stat, and we see it once again. Latest first blood of the series, and it goes in the hands of Wonder's Pyke. You're right, he didn't find the execution. The point of the ultimate was to just get that additional damage down so they could find that initial kill onto Clid. Faker gets knocked up, and at this point you think he's going to get locked down, but they know that Marta and Teddy are on their way. Teddy gets chunked out by Perks, who's looking to try and find that kill. No level 6 means he can't execute him. Meanwhile, the 3v2 is going up towards the river, but this is when Khan joins the fray.
But Khan was so frustrated, deep teleport for where he thought the fight would be fought. Instead, because so many people were caught in transition, no value out of slicing Maelstrom, even though it was a true handshaken 5v5.
I also missed the scat of the week from Perks. None of those orbs managing to find a target, so that means nobody else dies. Even gold game. Pretty much even CS at side, plus 10 in favor of Faker over Caps. And crucially, Perks has got access to that unleashed power. Jankos senses it as well. The stun comes out. Here's Clid. 3v3 in the bottom lane. Vision is denied on both sides. Mickey goes forward. Chain of corruption starts to spread. Jankos is inside, but Mickey's the first one that's in trouble. Now Clid is being turned around. Caps is coming in. Frozen Tombs available in a few seconds. Unleashed power plus Void Rush. That gives one to the LEC representative. Mata gets caught in the winds of war, and Europe get 2.
G2 Esports find successful kills towards the bot side of the map. Both junglers showed up. Both junglers were looking for an opportunity as all of the summoner spells were down. But it is G2 that end up coming out on top. Now, Faker is looking for an answer towards the top side.
He's going hunting. Wonder's got a flash available to him out of vision, so the regen is so powerful on that champion. Faker's just going to wait in the wings. You can sense, you can feel that Wonder knows it's happening. G2 with the first advantage.
But you can feel also that G2 are more adept in this playstyle. This is never seen in the LCK. This level of aggression. 5v5 fights over no discernible objective at 7 minutes. But SKT are playing G2's game. Play it at your own peril.
Wonder on this Pyke is also exceptionally difficult to gank. He has the boots of mobility now. That roaming potential is very prevalent on this champion, and because of the amount of camouflage and mobility tools that he has, it's going to be difficult for Faker to lock him down. So he now returns to mid. Caps is the target.
All right, Caps manages to escape. Very good use of that glacial path. Double W from Faker. The chains are about to pop. Caps, very, very controlled. Did not either self-cast or target SK Telecom, but big trade in favor of Faker.
And you're seeing the potential that Faker has on this champion. Even though G2 sit at a 1,000 gold lead, you're just looking at this mid lane. You're just looking at this veteran of a talent and his ability to play this champion.
That double distortion had a bit of venom behind it, didn't it?
Yeah.
He was definitely leaving him with something to pick up, able to go back, teleport back in, so no harm, no foul, but it is another tool for playmaking down.
Clid, the playmaker for SK Telecom, 0-2-1. The inverse, Jankos, 1-0-2. Warrior enchant already completed, and he's stealing away the Raptor camp. This is a very positive sign for G2 Esports. The only death they've conceded was on Caps in that brawl inside the jungle. And with the priority mid and bottom, G2 are going to unlock this Cloud Ring.
And SKT will be forced to answer a question that was posed by a lot of analysts asking, in fact, of can SKT win if it's not about Clid in the early game? Because right now, Clid is pretty significantly behind, going a Warrior Enchant build, so he'll be squishy, he'll be taken down by a lot of the burst damage. Lot to like about G2's position, and they take the first Drake of the game.
Oh, here's Wonder. Faker's got flash available. He's rooted in place, caught by Lissandra. Ultimate, and he's killed from below. Pushing the wave as well. The roaming pirate picks up a kill onto Faker. Mata does get caught by the stun, but no further follow.
And this is something we're going to be seeing a lot from Wonder. He doesn't care about the 1v1 matchup. He only cares about the roams. He wants to create chaos. And while Faker came hunting for him, Wonder wanted to return the favor. X marks the spot. They find the kill. G2 now sit with a 2,000 gold lead.
And I think the jungle matchup going like this, where Clid is second to a lot of his engagements, means that mid-prio, that's been there kind of the whole best of 5 for SKT is gone. And that means that plays like this can happen. They can come from both directions, and there's no Jarvan to bail Faker out.
There's too much crowd control. Faker not running the cleanse against Lissandra means that the gank setup is so prevalent. And Wonder, he utilized his W to get through the scuttle crowd, so there was no vision on him as he made his way down towards the mid lane. Good setup from the side of G2. Now they're looking for more skirmishes.
All right, waiting for the channel on that bone skewer. Cannot thread the needle through the minion line. Jankos will clear out the vision as Wonder continues to apply pressure in this top lane. And this is a fantastic start for G2 Esports, but do not forget how crazy that previous game was. SK Telecom, and specifically Faker, found multiple ways to get back into the game through some crazy outplays.
I think they get first set up around the Rift Herald, but it was spotted earlier than expected by G2. Let's see what their response is, as it's down to about 6,500 health.
Not enough members yet. Perks is going to be content pushing those turret plates in the bottom lane. Rift Herald conceded here by G2 Esports. As it's just before 14 minutes. It is nearly a 3,000 gold lead, and Tower First Blood bonus will go to Perks. But obviously the Rift Herald counter push will help out SKT.
We'll get solo gold onto the Varus, you would imagine. Clid could follow it in, but I don't think it's worth at this point. It's kind of going to be a Cataclysm and a Prayer, not much more to respond as this more damage-centric Jarvan build. Mid lane.
All right, Faker gets caught up by the Bone Skewer. Insta-cast by Cap. 1, 2 duns for Wonder. He's 4-0. It is at the cost of Caps' life, but Khan's able to escape Scatter the Weak and the Bone Skewer. That was by such a close margin. The tower is still alive, though. Here comes Khan. Slicing Maelstrom available. Unleash power from Perks. He's in trouble, going low. Playing Mickey using the ultimate to jump down. Wonder's unstoppable. 5-0 on the pike. G2 Esports are up 4,000 gold, and they may not be done sieging the towers.
SKT are doing what they can to find advantages elsewhere on the map, but G2 are just saying, unfortunately, you either fight us or you die. And in either situation, it is G2 who are coming out on top. They don't care about losing these objectives. They don't care about losing these towers. All they care about is finding those executions and killing SKT.
They got a 5-kill pike after this replay roll is done, sharing gold as well. Wombo combo that Faker knows only too well multiple times this game. Khan tries to walk down the lane and join, doesn't make much happen. Hood is smart, he actually clears out the wave, and that's why Perks almost died largely to turret aggro. But it's too little too late, and now the gold lead extends to 4,500 for G2.
And this is a situation where SKT, they're now going through the pages of the playbook, and they're saying, what options do we have? What are our answers? How do we come back? They do have a decent pick competition. If they can find targets out of position, then that is their opportunity to come back. But unfortunately for them, G2 never seem to be alone. There always seem to be 2 or 3 members primed and ready to answer any potential play.
I'm sure if you asked SKT right now, they put their faith in 5v5s, but there may never be one. And speaking of lack of 5v5s, here's a skirmish.
All right, good sidestep by Faker. Mickey's going to take this blast cone over the wall. Decides not to, in fact. If Wonder had hit that Q, you have to feel something would have happened. He's got the Ghost Blade as well as Tiamat and Moby Boots, and he's got a level advantage over Faker. Now Clids, his recall just finished. Charge up the Q, finds the tag. I was waiting for Wonder to go in, but he chose not to.
Yeah, he's not going to overcommit against Faker. He's still Faker still has the W and ultimate to get him out to safety, so Wonder chooses not to commit. Instead, he's going fishing. He's looking for whoever he can find, and Perks is the target.
All right, Perks still has flash available to him. Throws out the ultimate. That's the hourglass used by Khan. Chain of Corruption catches one. That's a kill into Yankos already. Advantage SKT. LCK are turning this one around. Despite the 5,000 gold deficit, they've got enough now to turn the pressure back onto G2 Esports.
G2 couldn't actually get in the fight and actually have Wonder play a role, and Caps might actually be caught in transition.
All right, let's find out what he can do. Caps is going to use the claw to get to safety. Still gets rooted in place by Faker's chains. He's sitting on the flash as well. Can self-cast the ultimate if needed to buy some time. Wonder now can hop over the wall and get a multi-man stun. Decides against it, but SKT, they didn't overchase.
So this is SKT finding the picks that they need. G2 got a little too overzealous, and SKT were very quick to punish. Loved the flanking teleport coming out from Faker to cut off the escape route of 2 of the G2 members, allowing them to find some kills, potentially find some shutdowns, and work their way back into this game.
The picks are nice, they slow down the game, but remember, if Wonder's involved, the picks are getting double duty, and they're not actually moving the map state very much. They still don't control their own red side jungle. They just have implied control of their blue side jungle. So right now, it's just Samantha in gold, and even then, G2 grows stronger.
As you rightly said, Papa Smithy, G2 are looking very good right now. You can see they're nearing completion on their second items, and Wonder is so terrifying at this point, especially when the map comes dark. The observers have an opportunity to just toggle the SKT vision. We'll be able to see what they're working with right now. You see Wonder right now, but look at how much of the map that you don't see him. And even then, if you don't have control wards, you're not going to spot him out. He is constantly looking for picks, and he is looking to skewer any SKT member that walks in his path.
Unbelievable start to this game. 4,000 gold up. G2 Esports, the last time this happened, they were on the red side against RNG at Worlds last year. And G2 were able to win that series. The expectations, the anticipation, and plays like this, that's what's allowing SKT back into the game.
See 3 people way over the wall, but the decisive engage to kill Rek'Sai means that Wonder is only a watcher during this particular fight. They can chase 4v1, 3v1 onto further picks, so no value from Wonder. He needs someone else to start, and he's the cleaner.
Yeah, and I mean, SKT have proven already in Game 4 that if you give them just an inch, they will take a mile. They're not a team that you can just assume will just concede areas of the map. They've proven multiple times that they will fight you, they will not give up this game, and Faker wants to return to that final stage, so he will do everything in his power to turn this game around.
And all of a sudden, Faker is in a little bit of trouble. Unleashed power from Perks. He's almost back to his solo killing ways onto Faker. Praise Seeker from Jankos actually goes the other direction, trying to spot out the clones. A lot of members of SKT coming around. But again, there is just some beautiful irony in Perks on Syndra, almost solo killing Faker. There's a matchup that we saw in the finals in 2017, G2 and Europe, on the precipice of making history, not only eliminating SKT, but making an NA versus EU MSI final. The weight of that still hasn't quite sunk in.
But we've also already talked about it, Quickshot, where SKT has been one of the main blockers for Europe internationally for many years. Fnatic, Misfits, G2 in the past. For them to finally overcome one of their long-standing blockers would be a huge achievement for not only G2, but for Europe as a region.
All right, let's take a look at this. Bone Skewer comes out, Cap steps forward. Hourglass is already used, but it feels like this should just be it. Not yet. Good flash from Khan that keeps him alive. Buys enough time for Cleared and Marta to arrive in support. And Wonder's just dancing on the edge of safety. Look at the vision littered in the jungle. G2 Esports can't even play around Baron because it hasn't spawned yet.
And that's actually the point I wanted to get to, is SKT can only reinforce Kennen because Baron hasn't spawned yet. They can afford to send multiple members bot side and not just have the Baron rush down. So important to look towards the timer. The Baron spawns. Wait to see what it means.
You'll notice now that Khan has been slowly and steadily farming off in the side lane. He's actually managed to build a CS advantage and is matching Wonder in levels. He's still very strong on this Kennen, and even though there's an 800 gold deficit, it definitely doesn't feel like that. The biggest disparities are coming between the bot and mid lane, and the jungle in particular, between the two teams.
And one of the things that I can't get out of my head is when a skirmish style of game takes place, SK Telecom do not perform well. When I think of the games they've struggled in, it's these kind of scrappier types of games where split-second decision-making is required that has kept SKT back.
They just want to make the game predictable. That's why they have to back so frequently to buy control wards to make Wonder conspicuous. Because if that first kill comes in, they can ravage this team, G2. They can ravage through the fairly low health bars. The only person who can actually walk up is Khan, and that's only when his Zhonya's is available. Kind of using it off cooldown. It's going to be a very long map in the bot lane. Caps takes out the bot lane in a turn.
Now Wonder returns to the top side. He's going to catch that wave as Faker has just pushed it down. This is an opportunity for SKT to actually look for a pick. Look at how much control they have around the river. Jankos not going to gamble with the face check. So SKT now grouping up in mid. Could they look for a potential play onto G2?
Let's take a look. 6,000 gold is the advantage for G2. Couple of thrift store items after the Ghost Blade for Wonder. He's close to 2, maybe 3 items. Luden Zeko and Proto Belt for Caps is matched by Luden Zeko, but there's an entire Proto Belt difference between mid laners. Faker's gonna need some additional time, but Teddy on the 2 items is terrifying right now.
Teddy is online, and if you notice, look at the enemy team, it's all burst builds, right? They have a burst team that wants to press R on the Syndra, and blow one person up. Varus needs time. Can SKT buy that time for Teddy?
Wow, look at Caps. He's coming in from outside of vision. Lone Skew's already caught Mata. He's gonna buy time. Mickey gets a 3-man taunt. Caps is waiting for the ultimate for that. Khan throws down the Maelstrom and uses the Hourglass. That's a shutdown on Wonder. He can't do more, but it's a trade. Top laner for top laner. Another fantastic taunt from Mickey. 3 more die in favor of G2. Mata is running for his life, and G2 turn to burn more objectives.
4 members on the SKT squad die after taking down Wonder. They thought that was it. They thought they could turn it around, but the damage from Caps and Perks was still there. Jankos with the beautiful flash knockup to set up the rest of the team to find the execution. SKT falter, G2 extend the lead.
Europe, your once vilified G2 Esports is on the verge of taking down SKT thanks to plays like this.
And Khan, if you watch, Mickey starts it off perfect top flash. Khan plays this perfectly. Notice he gets the stasis up and ults beforehand to try to control. We're on the Infernal?
We are indeed. It's actually picked up by Faker. Jankos is buying some time. Wonder manages to get the bone skewer. Jankos is buying some time, but at what cost? Khan is now stuck inside the pit. Mickey gets once again another good taunt. But the dragon was picked up by SKT. Caps completes the teleport and is running for his life. Takes the glacial path out. G2 may consider a re-engage because Teddy's not here yet. The skewer catches Mata. Where's the ghost water dive? Not waiting for it yet. It's waiting to see if the, Phantom Undertow rather, if Wonder wanted to go over the wall. Decided against it, but that's a good, confident reply from SKT.
SKT demonstrate their resilience in this game. They want to turn this one around, and that fight on the Dragon was just a really good punish onto Jankos. He tried to clear that out by himself, and SKT were in a better position to punish.
But why is the question you might ask. Remember, it's... Oh, Teddy.
Oh, the stun doesn't land. If that had landed, maybe Wonder had gone in.
The game state might surprise you. Why didn't G2 go to Baron after they got 4 kills? Remember, they don't have a ranged AD carry. Their Baron taking speed is going to be much more on the slower ebb. That's what allowed SKT to stay in a game state where they die 4 times at 22 minutes and don't sacrifice Baron.
This is a composition from G2 that doesn't need the Baron to win as long as they got this gold lead and they can keep getting kills. But a great play from SKT there.
Yeah, and so honestly, SKT just reacted much faster than G2 did. You notice that Khan noticed the Dragon was being started, the ward was already there so that Faker could teleport in, and G2 were like, whoa, we weren't expecting this. They then used 2 teleports and ended up getting nothing off the back of it. So overall, this is a great play from SKT, and it will alleviate a lot of the map pressure that G2 looked to push forward.
Man, Mata just keeps getting caught by these taunts. Bone Skewer goes up, but that's a big miss from Wonder. Khan's found the damage in the back end, though. Slicing Maelstrom hasn't got any kills. Jankos is buying some time, but at what cost? That's a great scout of the week, but it's SK Telecom that are winning the fight. They turn their attention to Mickey. He goes golden for a few seconds. Wonder's done nothing. He's been watching from the sidelines. He finally gets a kill, but he doesn't get the reset. Now they're trying to turn it around. That's 2 for Wonder. He turns it back. Clint escapes with his life. All of a sudden, Caps is left alone. Teddy, look at that auto attack. Rat-a-tat-tat, and G2 goes splat.
From 7,000 gold down, they win a team fight. They actually keep Teddy alive, and the flank from Khan was what had started all off.
SKT once again over and over demonstrate how strong they are as a team. Here we see Mata absorbing so much of the damage, and note how Faker dives onto the backline, but it is Khan with this beautiful flank to earn an early Zhonya's out from Perks. They take out Rek'Sai, and notice that Lissandra still isn't even in the fight.
This is turning into a greatest hits of G2 Esports and SKT. Historically, team fights from 10,000 gold behind. These plays with the Realm Walk and the ability to play 3 lanes, it's insane.
And imagine if Caps was here at the beginning of this fight, how differently this could have been. And it was just that awareness from SKT to recognize this is a great opportunity for us. We have to do it. And the core carries of Teddy and Faker showed up and win the team fight for SKT.
We're bouncing up and down 2 days in a row. MSI semifinals are delivering in a way we could never have imagined.
25 kills in 26 minutes. Teddy is now 3-1-4. He's got more of Malmortius as well as that Blade of the Rune King and Rage Blade. He shredded G2 Esports. And this 5,000 gold lead, it means nothing as these fights are playing out. If you are a European fan at home, you better bring all of your friends and family because this will be an explosive end. G2 have not positioned to play around Baron, but SKT are responding to the aggressive lane push.
And the players you have to keep your eyes on are Wonder and Faker, because these 2 are the assassins of the squad. And if either one of them gets caught at the very beginning of the fight, then the fight is pretty much determined, because their damage is so important in being able to eliminate the likes of Teddy, the likes of Perks, that without them, both these compositions will not have the damage needed.
And it's strange this late in the game, but it feels like both teams have a conditional factor to win a team fight. For the side of G2, it's to get the burst on one and have one to clean up that first kill. For SKT, it's find a way to stop Teddy just being zoned by all the threats. There's so many of them on G2.
Yeah, they really are. Faker was caught out there by Caps' ultimate. Well, maybe that's a bit of a stretch from a phrase, but now with 3 members diving, he's going to be forced to flash away. Chilling Smite caused that one. Tower number 6 secured in favor of G2 only. Inhibitor towers remaining 27 minutes into the game.
But how can G2 get a Baron? Their comp does so many things, but killing Baron is much more conditional for them. Feels like Khan has spent the whole game on a flank at this point.
Yeah.
Looking for a flash ultimate. That flash about 2 minutes or so away from cooldown. double Void Staff have been complete. G2, there's no one on SKT that can absorb the R from Lissandra, the R from Syndra, and not be assassinated by the death from below.
There's no QSS yet completed on the side of SKT. There's no cleanse. Oh, the cleanse actually is sitting on top of Teddy, so that's all right. G2 will have priority around the Ocean Drake. And also, just look at the amount of wars that they've invested towards the top side of the map. While gaining control of these tier 2 towers, they completely littered the enemy jungle with all this red side vision.
All right, Mickey's now going to be in a little bit of trouble. Forced to flash defensively. Off G2's gold lead. Most of it's on Cap. He's gone in. Marta's caught up. Teddy's been able to flash for now. Caps uses the self-toss on the ulti. And Khan, he managed to get the slicing mouse to walk. It's a 1-for-1 so far. But Wonder's still alive. That's a 3-man stun from Perch. The Bone Skewer sets another up. They've traded top for jungle. Clint is down. Yankus goes up, but he can't take down Faker. So far, it's a 2-for-2. Wonder's running for his life. He can't find the stun. 2-for-3 at the end of the fight in favor of SKT.
And it's SKT that are continuously coming out on top of these fights. Wonder now has just spotted Marta.
All right, he has indeed, but look at the stun. That's just massive. Teddy gets the shutdown goal. 6, 1, and 5. The gold lead truly doesn't mean a thing. And SK Telecom, they might be able to burn Baron.
Oh, the pings are on Baron, but they don't have a lot of health bars to it. Faker's gonna have to tank it up here. TP up on Caps in 10 seconds. This is not gonna be an easy take. Marta denies the blast plant, and here we go.
They're actually doing it right now. It looks like Caps is going nowhere near the pings. Oh, here comes the teleport from Caps. They need to go and contest this.
All right, this is a challenge on both sides, though. Khan has managed to make it to the river. Caps has thrown down a wall. He's got vision. The claw will tag Marta. Mickey's going to be in range as well. There's no flash available, and he may need to Justice Punch over the wall. Baron has been interrupted. Teddy is trying to step forward. The taunt is going to come out. Caps is trying to find the kill. Marta's in trouble. Faker's low, but they've already got one onto Marta. Where is Teddy? Follow his HP bar. Khan flashes up the wall. Teddy's dead. Yankos is in the pit. G2 Esports have been gifted and donated a Baron from SKT. That's a dunk from Wonder. Death from below for the double, for the ace, for the Baron and the base.
G2 obliterate SKT. Look at all the death timers. They're looking to stamp their authority onto the SK Telecom dynasty and make their way to the final.
Baron empowered minions are pushing into the base. The gap be damned. Champions can fall, gods can bleed. Where were you when the West rose up to conquer champions? G2 Esports eliminates SK Telecom. North America face Europe at the MSI Finals.
Faker once again has to stare into his own despair. It's a well-deserved victory for G2, and they did it their way. The final game going for their confidence picks. To be damned that SKT had time to prep for it. They roll it back, they win on red side in a series defined by blue side victories. NA versus EU. I never thought I'd live to see that as an international finals clash.
And the deciding game in both series, they play the NA special against IG, they play the G2 special against SK Telecom. And for the first time in our